Hello, and welcome to the Abundology podcast. My name is Renee Spears, and I'm an abundance channeler and coach, and I help people be happy and live abundant lives with more money, love, time, and joy. I'm coming to you from downtown Portland, Oregon, and this is the weekly energy update for the week of August 30th, 2020. Every Sunday, I talk about how the energy is going to be for the week ahead, and I also infuse the show with some positive vibes, so you get a little positive energy boost just for listening. So we talked a little last week about the hammer of Thor, which we will also be experiencing this week. And a hammer of Thor is when the planets in the sky make a square with two additional sesquisquares. Say that 10 times fast, huh? It is similar to a finger of God, and just by the name, we can see that it's a big deal and that stuff gets smashed. And we saw that in our country this week with the fires, the hurricanes, the RNC, the shootings in Wisconsin, and now the shooting last night in Portland. So last night I took Jack out for potty, and as we came around the corner, the Trump parade of trucks came by. There were hundreds of big trucks with flags, and the people were shouting, honking their horns, and waving their guns out the window. It was totally scary and upsetting. And then less than an hour later, a person was killed just 2 blocks away from where Jack and I were walking. So stuff like this is happening all over. Even if you don't personally experience it, we are seeing it on TV, social media. So the question is, how do we best deal with this energetically? We know that we must feel our feelings, that we can't just think positive thoughts and live in denial. That isn't healthy, and that ends up wreaking havoc on your soul and your body and even our society if we do that. So step number 1 into dealing with these feelings and the energy that you get in your body when something like this happens is to feel your feelings. And this process that we're going to talk about works for anything that you're feeling. So the first thing we want to do is feel the outrage, feel the anger, feel the hurt. We start by feeling. And then after you felt the initial feelings, then decide how long you want to stay in that energy. We don't want to live in a constant state of anger or hurt. That isn't good for anybody. So decide how long you want to stay there. Give yourself a time limit. So last night I gave myself 2 hours to stay in this. I have to say I was pretty, honestly, I was a little scared and then outraged and then just disgusted with what is happening in our country. So at the end of your time limit, we have to move the energy out of us. For most people, this means physically. And others of us that are experts at controlling our mind because we've done thousands of hours of meditating have the ability to do it that way, or even a combination of both. But for most of us, it means physically. And for me, I usually go on a long walk. And I know you've heard me say this before. If I ever feel any twinge of anxiety or anything like that, the first thing I do is put on my shoes and go for a walk. But last night, there was no way I was going back outside in the street. So instead, I danced around my living room for a little while, which got some of that energy out. And then I made a donation to the Biden campaign, which got the rest of the energy out. So this is the same process for any feeling that you're feeling that's overwhelming, that you don't want to feel. The first thing is you got to feel it. And then set a time limit for feeling it. And then physically move the energy out. Usually with exercise, but it could also be with like writing a letter, making a donation, anything that moves you forward. And of course, all of this is much easier the more balanced you are the rest of the time. And that's one of the reasons why I do this podcast, is to help you recognize the collective energy that's out there and get familiar with it and working with it and how to balance your energy so that you live more in a balanced state most of the time. So this week we have a full moon on Tuesday evening, September 1st. This is the corn moon because this is harvest time and the corn is now ready to harvest. And this full moon is in the dreamy, sensitive sign of Pisces. there's just this deep awakening energy to this full moon. Not because it falls in this naturally psychic zodiac sign of Pisces, but also because it makes this alignment to Uranus this week. And Uranus is the planet of awakening and change, as we know. We've been talking a lot about that the past few weeks. It encourages us to see things with a fresh perspective. It helps guide us to look at things with a new lens in order to shift our awareness and raise our consciousness. So Pisces is considered one of the most emotionally aware signs in the zodiac. So people born in Pisces that are Pisces usually feel a lot. They feel for themselves, for their loved ones, even total strangers. So with this emotionally heightened full moon this week, it's safe to assume that we'll all be feeling pretty emotional. So what I love about Pisces, though, is you get to use water to help you deal. So this is the week to get in the water to feel balanced and deal with your emotions. So go to the river, go to the lake, the ocean, get in the hot tub, take a nice long bath. I have a bunch of new bath bombs that I got for my birthday, so I'm super excited for some long soaks in the bathtub the next couple of weeks. So this Pisces full moon is also amplifying everybody's intuition. And one way that the universe talks to you is through your dreams. So pay particular attention this week to your intuition and your dreams. They're going to be spot on in telling you something. So if you have a question that like, gosh, what should I do with this part of my life? I would ask it before I go to sleep and ask to get your answer in your dream. So there are so many ways you can interpret your dream. There's dream books you can look up online. But a lot of times if you just sit and think about your dream, the answer will come to you. So be really aware this week of the signs that you get from the universe, your intuition, and then also your dreams. So to recap this week, we are still in that craziness of the hammer of Thor. And then we're going to have a full moon on Monday night. So this is a lovely full moon, but with the other things that are going on out there, we might feel really emotional. And remember, a great way to deal with that is to get in the water and pay attention to your dreams and your coincidences. You'll be getting lots of messages from your soul and the universe this week. So this is the last day of my 50% off sale. It ends tomorrow, 8/31. So if you are a regular client and not ready for another session right now, I suggest buying yourself a gift certificate and then just use it next time that you're ready to have an appointment. A lot of my clients don't come regularly, maybe an appointment one quarter, or they wait a few months and then they come 3 to 6 months later. So you may not be ready to book an appointment right now, but if you do a gift certificate, that's a great way where you can still get the sales price. And then you have a session ready too, because honestly, we have a lot of stuff coming up. This is just the start of the fall. So next week, we're going to be talking about shifting our energy, our internal energy, to more of a fall energy, which is one of my favorite things to talk about because I love the fall. So have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next week.